everyone. I'm Darian Gold, and welcome to All Things Pilates Season 6. As we dig deeper into the life of a contrologist, this season's guest list shares what the Pilates methodology can offer to anyone who desires health and wellness. On this show, we'll explore, seek, and investigate what's possible when we incorporate Contrology into our lives. Through the decades, Susan Temkin, our guest today, wasn't always proud of her age. But when she began taking Pilates 7.5 years ago, those birthdays took on a different meaning. In fact, this spirited senior now celebrates each year by deepening her Pilates practice. As a former interior designer, Susan says, "You're as young as you feel, and when you really believe this, you become free." Susan takes charge of her life and full advantage for as long as she can, because one day, she soberly continues, "I won't be able to do this, but I'll be able to say, look at what I did. Go ahead and challenge me. It'll be fun." Welcome to All Things Pilates, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Susan, let me ask you right away. How did you discover the Pilates method?
We used to live in Manhattan, and we lived on the west side of Manhattan, around 62nd, 63rd Street and Central Park West. Joe's studio was on 8th Avenue, not too far away, and I was aware of it. But I always thought it was for dancers. It didn't seem accessible to me. And I was taking other things in different classes and, stuff. So I didn't feel the need to find something for movement. And that's when I first learned about it. We moved to Los Angeles in 83, and there was a Pilates studio there as well. So I thought, well, maybe I'll see what this is about. It was so impossible. All they had was a reformer and a wall. Now, I have not seen this again, although I'm sure it's around. A wall of wooden dowels. And you
Oh, yes, the Swiss bars?
I guess.
Oh, yes. Everyone has it now.
Hang from the top or close to the top, and then lift your legs. And I did it for about 6 lessons, and I thought, this is terrible. I'm stopping. And so that's when I started and stopped a teeny bit of Pilates in the 80s when we moved to Los Angeles.
Okay. You were introduced to Contrology through the Swiss bars, not the reformer?
The reformer was there as well, but it seems we spent a lot of time hanging on that wall.
They wanted to decompress you, I'm sure.
I probably still need it, or more, need it more.
Did you fall in love right away, like most people do, or no?
No, because it hurt so much.
Where did it hurt?
My back, my shoulders, my neck. I thought, what is it about this that I am missing that everyone is so crazy about, and I can't find a niche? Then we moved to the Bay Area, and I had no community anymore, no friends, and I needed a little bit of physical therapy. I wanted to work on my posture. And the physical therapist said when my 12 sessions were up, Susan, you really should take Pilates. And I thought, well, okay.
Here it is again.
Here it is again.
Showing up.
So he gave me the name of a studio, and I went, and then I fell in love. And I began taking once a week, and very shortly it became twice a week, and now it's 4 times a week, plus any little video that I happen to see and want to be part of, the demonstration ones and stuff.
Which studio is this?
This is Internal Fire in Mill Valley.
The physical therapist is connected to that studio?
He did not even know the owner, Sharon Gallagher Riviera. He didn't even know her. I said, well, how can you recommend it? He said, I don't know. I've heard good things. Go give it a try. He was very kind of relaxed about it. So I thought, well, he said, but don't let her give you anyone other than herself in the beginning. And I walked in and she said, well, the first 3 classes will be with me. I'll assess what you need. And so she was doing exactly what he said to do. So, and I've been there ever since. I also work at a studio in the city in San Francisco called Sanchez Street Studio.
Oh, so you go back and forth.
Well, Sanchez Street online and Internal Fire in person. So that
Contrology, aka the Pilates Method. And by the way, had you ever heard of Contrology or was it always the Pilates Method?
it was always the Pilates method.
At what point did you start hearing people refer to this method as Contrology?
Well, I began reading about it. And so anything I read, of course, the first sentence is this is Contrology. And, it's now called Pilates, but Joe Pilates called it Contrology.
Yeah. So what about when you were in New York and you were hearing about this method?
Pilates.
Okay. So they were using his last name from the beginning, even though he called it the Contrology system.
Right.
Do you know that I lived in the Des Artistes on Central Park West and 67th? We could have been neighbors.
We were neighbors because I was at 63rd Street. And I know that building very, very well.
Leroy Neiman, he was my neighbor. Leonard Bernstein was my neighbor.
I had a cooking partner. We had a cooking school for children and a catering business, and she lived right there in that building.
Oh.
Small world.
I lived in the maid's room off a gorgeous, large apartment. I don't know how many bedrooms. I was in the little maid's room.
That works.
It worked at the time, for sure. As you know, Joe didn't create anything that was easy. It's a really challenging method. And we both know people that tried it and didn't fall in love and gave up because it's so challenging. What keeps the fire lit for you?
Well, as a kid, I took lots of dance for years, and I loved it. I felt accomplished. I felt proud. And when I began Pilates, and I know this is sort of a visual, but it made me feel as if the circle had closed, so that the feeling that I had from dance is exactly what Pilates brought me back to. That same feeling of accomplishment and pride. And I always, before Pilates, now I say, well, I felt like I was riding around in a 10-year-old car. And now I feel like I am driving a Jaguar. And when you drive a Jaguar, you drive it. You're not riding anymore. And I feel as though I'm driving my body now. I'm in control. I'm in charge. And that is a whole other world. And dance made me feel that way too. So I've sort of come home to myself in a way.
That's quite powerful, Susan.
Well, it is what it is. I was never an athlete. I was never picked first for a team. I was never picked last for a team either. But dance was what I cared about. And so an aging body and Pilates is a little tricky sometimes. But first of all, I try and take private lessons and not try and be in a group lesson with, 30-year-olds and don't look right and don't look left. Just keep your head straight. And of course, there are changes in the body, but you can't carry on about it. I mean, you think about Joe developing those beds, if they were bed springs. I don't know exactly what happened, what he did for those wounded soldiers who were interred with him during World War I in that camp. And he's got them doing chest expansion and all kinds of upper body stuff. Well, they didn't stop, for God's sakes. I mean, if anyone had an excuse to not do something, it would be somebody who was wounded. A lot of why I don't quit comes from the inspiration of my teachers. I have been so fortunate. And I have one specific teacher who has taught me for 7 years. But if that person is away and I need to substitute it or I need to add somebody else, I've just been under the lucky stars of Pilates teachers. And they encourage me. They come from all different backgrounds. A lot come from ballet, of course. One danced with Alvin Ailey. One worked for Cirque du Soleil. One was in martial arts. So all of these bring a little different nuance. But the basic thing is that they make me feel proud of myself and they work with me. They encourage me. They want me to do well. One of my teachers asked to do something and I make a face, which means, oh my God, please. The teacher will say, Susan, I know you've got this in you. And I do. And I really believe in them. And I think they believe in me. And that's why I don't want to quit. And I feel wonderful.
So maybe the people who did give up didn't have teachers like you are describing.
And they didn't want the same feeling they had when they danced as kids.
Well, assuming if they danced.
If they did. Coming back to that, and my teachers have been a whole world for me. And as I said, when we moved to Northern California, I didn't know anyone. I mean, our kids are here, but I tried to enter a couple of groups. I did some volunteer work. And then Pilates just became everything. And all through COVID, when you couldn't go out and this was unhappy and that one was sick, I would go to my Pilates Zoom lessons. And for that hour, I thought about nothing else. I wasn't wondering what I was going to make for dinner. I just was focusing on my body and what I was trying to accomplish. And it carried me through COVID.
What would you say is the most challenging part of the method for your body?
You know, Darian, when you dance and you're in a studio where there is a wall of mirror and you have this influence, this outside influence, the mirror, where you can see yourself and check yourself and correct yourself. The visual, I don't want to say makes it easy, but makes it possible to see what you need to fix. The most challenging part, and Pilates is sort of a mystery to me, because you're always searching. I mean, that's why it's called a practice. You never get there. The minute you get to the top of the mountain changes. And because it's all internally based, and you're working on the cue that you're getting and trying to visualize how that iliopsoas is lifting your leg. And because it's so non-visual, it's your head that's seeing for you. That's the hardest part. And you see someone like you who does something perfectly, and you think to yourself, what is it just that she's has an intelligent body, that she's a body worker, a body person, that the muscle fibers all going the right way and the coordination is all correct? Or does she know something I don't know about where that muscle is? Or your scapular, and drop them down. Don't lift them, keep them down, get them towards your hips. So because I think I am a visual person, and as I said, I did do interior design, I'm okay with it because I force myself to see it. And if I don't, I ask questions. My teachers must think, oh my God, here she comes again. Because I ask teachers all the time, now wait, is that on the bottom? Is that hip bone supposed to be? So, because I'm trying so hard to see it.
Okay, so your challenge is not actually a body part. It's more about being able to visualize from the inside out what the movement should feel like, opposed to what it should look like if you're in front of a mirror.
Exactly. In fact, I think if I were in front of a mirror, it would not be helpful for me because I'd be trying to make it look right. And then I wouldn't focus on my iliopsoas or,
whether or not it's a healthy movement or not.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And once I discover it, that aha moment we've talked about, the feeling is absolutely transportive. It takes me to another whole world, which dance didn't do, because dance came easily to me and I could get it. This doesn't come easy, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. So you work harder. But you're right. I did say that, and I hope that I can do it forever. But if I can't, I don't want to ever think, oh my gosh, what did I do?
That you held back.
What was I doing? Going to the supermarket 10 times a week. I mean, but to be able to say, I know what I did everything I could to make myself feel as good as I could. And I'm more flexible now. I'm stronger. I don't get as tired. I have a lot of energy. I always had a lot, but I push, but I encourage myself. I don't push to make myself exhausted. I just think, okay, then stop right now. And there are days when I walk into the studio and I say, as I did yesterday, I haven't slept. Please be kind, And so it's an easier day. And that my teachers have always respected that because you need to have that sometimes too.
Hey everyone, want to level up your teaser? When I'm not interviewing or editing, I'm helping students just like you get to the next level. If you'd like to understand the Contrology technique, come learn from me, whether online or in person. Just know I'm here and happy to help. Now, back to the interview. Compassion plus
talent.
A teacher that knows when and how to push you.
Totally. And sometimes I'll see something, I'll look online and I'll see some practice.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I want to do that. And I'll go in and I'll say, couldn't I when I hang upside down from the Cadillac, couldn't I do? And the answer is, you cannot do that. It's dangerous. We're not going to do that.
Yes. That's the downside of what people are posting. It's not for everybody's body, every exercise.
Yeah.
Your husband, Victor, may I ask about him?
Of course you may.
He practices Contrology.
Yes, he does.
And of course, I know you're proud of him.
Absolutely. He saw me practicing, and it may have been, 2017, 2018. And I said to him, Victor, you can do this. Now, he's going to be 90 in August. And he always has played golf. And he's always walked on a treadmill about 3 miles a day. So he said, well, do you think it would help my golf?
Oh, that's how you get him in.
I said, yes is the answer. So he went also to internal fire. And then when COVID came, he said, I'm not going to the studio. And so that teacher works with him twice a week here. And the teacher is a golfer. And Victor said, well, here's what I want to do. Most of the time, new students say, well, I don't know. What do you think I should do? Here's what I want to do. I want to get stronger so I can play golf. So that has been his impetus. And he plays 3 times a week. As I said, he walks on a treadmill every day. And he takes Pilates twice a week. And he said to me last night, because I asked him for a quote, and if it really did help his golf, he said, well, first of all, golf is about your core. And he starts this lecture to me about core. And I said, He said, but my back doesn't ache and my spine is straighter. And when I hit the ball now, I hit it better than I ever hit it. I don't hit it as far, but I hit it straighter and I hit it better. And I wish I had started Pilates years ago.
Amazing.
That's almost 90 years old speaking. Amazing. And we were just at a retreat in Mexico, a week's retreat.
A Pilates retreat?
A Pilates retreat 3 times a day.
Oh, my.
7:30 class, 7:30, noon, and 4:30. And that man was at in that studio almost every time. Amazing.
3 times a day. Wow.
Yeah. 7:30, then you had breakfast and whatever you wanted to do. Noon, class, then you had lunch, whatever you wanted to do.
Where is this in Mexico?
It's at a place called Mar de Jade. It's in Chicala, and it is conducted annually, or has been annually for the last, 5 years, through Sanchez Street Studios. They take a group of about, 24, 28 people, 2 teachers. Both teachers are in both in all the lessons so that one is teaching and then one is walking around and correcting you or helping you.
Okay.
The time is goes so fast. Suddenly it's, wait, is it Thursday already and we leave on Saturday? And there's a beach right there and the food is all healthy and they grow their own food, their own eggs, yada, yada, yada. So,
What a great learning environment.
and I'm telling you, you don't leave the lesson thinking, oh, well, you carry that lesson. You carry them with you. And when you lie down at the next one, you're already primed from the 7:31 in the morning.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And there was doing all the things.
Speaking of quotes,
Yes.
Joe has a number of quotes, but a couple of them popped out for me that I thought would be applicable. And one is, "You are as young as your spine is flexible," which is the crux of the matter, really. Because if you don't have a healthy, supple, strong spine, what do you have?
A weak, bad back and pain. No, I agree with him. I agree with him. Of course, someone once said to me, she was a kindergarten teacher. She said, someone told me that if you get up and down off the floor a couple of times a day, you'll always stay young. And I thought, well, as a kindergarten teacher, I'm sure she's getting up the floor. But basically, it's the same thing. It's to keep moving and to keep your spine supple. And of course, as you age and as the fluid in your discs lessens, and as you get a little more bent, we all know this, it's not as easy, but with doing Pilates, you're forcing your body to keep doing. And then you just are doing.
Anti-gravity.
Absolutely. I think it was exactly right. What are some of his other quotes?
Another quote is, and this is definitely applicable to you, "You should be in your prime in your 70s and not considered old until you're in your hundreds."
Okay, well, so I'm 10 years ahead because I'm in my 80s. I think spirit, it's so easy to complain. It's so easy to look around and say, I don't understand these kids today. And everybody's on pod. I mean, get with it. Stop. I remember once being in the car with my mom. She was driving somewhere, and an Elvis Presley song came on, and she said, "This is disgusting." And I thought to myself, you are so wrong and out of it. I don't want to be out of it. I don't want to be a fool and be doing something that, a young person does. I don't want anyone to think, what is the matter with her? But I'm so grateful that I feel well and that I don't have chronic pain somewhere. I mean, that is, every day is a gift. And as you age, and somewhere back there is a guy with a long white beard and a scythe in his hand and a robe. And I don't want to trip over the finish line. I want to be moving as I can until that day comes. So, and you're aware of it when you get older, obviously, and it's not somewhere way out there. It's like, hello. It's like holding a mirror to your face. So, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford it and to do it.
What would you say for those who are getting up in years who couldn't afford it? What could they do? What would you advise those who really couldn't afford private lessons?
I think that's a really good question. Well, if they have technology or, iPad or a computer, there's a lot of stuff online. And at one point in LA, I went to the Y, or a Jewish community center where things are affordable. And there's plenty of stuff out there. You just have to, put your pride in your pocket and go march on and find what's going on. I'm not a real self-starter. So for me to turn on the computer or the iPad and find a lesson, I can do it. But I have to really say, okay, when you finish this, you can have a present of some kind. You can read your book. I'm a little goal at the end. I relate to people so much more. That makes me work hard. Although Victor started with, I can't remember his name. Isakowitz? No, that's not his name.
Oh, Rael Isakowitz?
Yeah. Yes, Victor started with that. I said to him in the beginning, let me show you something. Let's turn this on. It's only half hour. I'll help you. If you can't do something, don't do it. Just to kind of get Pilates in his head, get Contrology in raise his awareness. And so there's a lot of stuff like that you can do.
All right. Well, let me ask you, give our listeners who can't afford private lessons, don't have a computer, what are 2 exercises they could do at home or in a park to help strengthen and bring suppleness to their spine?
Well, I think one thing that's very simple, of course, is to lie on your back with your feet bent. Your feet standing, bend your knees, and make your knees go from side to side. And as your knees go to the right, your head goes to the left. So your spine is twisting. Now that takes no time at all and is easy to do. And I think also lying flat, legs flat, back flat, arms above your head, and very slowly bringing your navel to your backbone and very slowly sitting up slowly and lying back down and doing that. And as your hands get over your knees or wherever they're going, your shins, that you really relax, breathe, and stretch forward and just relax down into your body, not forcing it. And I think that would be very helpful. And then, of course, there's standing up against the wall.
My fave.
My favorite. Where you really are letting the wall guide your height with the crown of your head to the ceiling and your shoulders against the wall, and breathing and being proud and having your scapulas going down and your shoulders down and feeling proud. And I think that's a very good thing to do. It's hard. It's hard for me, but it's okay. Those 3 things: knees bent side to side, bending over from the floor, and standing against the wall.
All right. I think those are legitimate.
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd say that.
Well, the wall, if you have a wall, you can do Pilates.
Yeah.
Susan, in closing, I did give a couple of the Joe quotes, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but if somebody were to ask you for what would be a Susan Temkin quote, could you think of to encapsulate everything that you were sharing in terms of, we didn't really talk about feet, because without the feet, we don't have the spine. But putting that aside, everything that you've said today about staying true to yourself, understanding that this kind of work requires a certain kind of intelligence and awareness, because you have to discover the exercises from the inside out. You're chiseling from the inside out. You don't have a mirror. So I guess I'm asking, is there a Susan Temkin quote or maybe even advice for those of us who, all of us are aging, but there is a way to age mentally, spiritually, physically that will keep us curious about our lives and be interested in seeing how far we can go?
Yes. Let me just think for a second. If you are fortunate enough to have good health and you can celebrate that, and if you don't want to be riding around in an old Chevy, I hope the General Motors people pay attention to it. You get yourself into a Maserati. You become that. And you're in charge. And it's your time. And I don't care if it's pretending your fingers are doing castanets. Just do something. So at the end of the day, you feel that you accomplished something. That's so important. And that's what I would say. Do something. Just do something to your body, for your body, that helps you at the end of the day feel, I did that. I did that. I touched my knees today. Doesn't matter how difficult, just live. Just live in your body.
Thank you, Susan. That's beautiful. Thank you for your time today and your wisdom.
Thank you for making it interesting and fun and for making me think about all these things, which before were never focused, and now they are, thanks to you.
Yes, you're welcome. It's great to chat with you as always.
Always, always. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. All Things Pilates is produced, written, edited, and hosted by me, Darian Gold. Mastered audio mix, Fabian Romero. Original music, aka Johnny. And we'd love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. That way you let all of us know what you like about All Things Pilates. Also, if you're interested in helping to support this podcast, become a subscriber. It helps to cover all the back-end costs that accrue when producing a show. To learn more about how you can be part of our growing community, check out our show notes. Count your age by friends, not years. Count your life by smiles, not tears. John Lennon.